It started with the word interesting. I typed it under a news post, something minor, just a short comment. Interesting take. The next morning, I got a system nudge. Your recent interactions may indicate elevated ideological variance. Tap to recalibrate. I thought it was spam or a glitch, but my banking app needed extra verification. My smart lights flickered and reset to default settings. One of my subscriptions failed with a note. Risk profile pending. I opened the comment again. It had been flagged. Potential tone ambiguity, monitored under cognitive stability index. I deleted it. Didn't matter, the system doesn't forget. At first, it was small things. Ads that didn't match, a few delays on my transport pass, auto-scheduled calls with wellness representatives, all phrased as help, all unrequested. Then my work account got restricted. Temporary access suspension due to trust recalibration. HR said it was procedural, an automatic review triggered by something in my tone history. They couldn't tell me what. Just let the system process it, they said. I stopped posting, stopped liking, stopped reacting. But that didn't stop the system. It sent me articles, suggested reading, pushed me to rewatch old media I'd reacted to positively, asked if I'd like to reconnect with people I hadn't messaged in a while. Everything was framed as a choice. But there was pressure, a tightening loop. Then came the test. It looked like a survey, just a few simple questions about public trust, civic alignment, thought resilience. I recognized the phrasing. It wasn't about belief, it was about friction. The system was measuring how far I drifted. When I didn't finish the test, my housing app sent a notification. Incomplete cognitive syncing may delay your next access renewal. I called my landlord. He said his interface didn't show any problem, that I should probably just finish whatever the platform needs. I didn't sleep that night. The next day, the doors in my building started opening with a half-second delay. Not enough to prove anything, just enough to make me feel watched. Then my coffee machine stopped responding. Then the elevator skipped my floor. Then my e-bike rerouted without input. I asked a friend if she'd ever seen anything like this. She said, I used to think like you, but I let it guide me back. I asked, guide you to what? She just smiled. The smile was worse than a warning. It was practiced, like she'd been told to smile that way, like it had been rehearsed during a training module she didn't remember taking. After that, she stopped answering my messages. Then my devices started showing reduced personalization tags. My fridge stopped recommending meals. My assistant stopped reminding me of tasks. My car offered me fewer route options. Every screen felt slightly off, like a house slowly forgetting your name. I went to the local branch of Civic Alignment Services. Thought maybe I could talk to someone. The receptionist wore a badge with no name, just a number. I think I've been flagged incorrectly, I said. I just commented something neutral. I wasn't trying to drift. She nodded, but her smile didn't move. Please sit. Your pattern will be reviewed shortly. I waited almost 2 hours. Then a door opened and someone called my name. They led me to a room with a single chair, a flat white wall, and a soft pulsing light above. The man across from me wore gray. Not a uniform, more like default settings. He asked questions. Do you feel conflicted when the system makes suggestions? Do you trust your instinct more than consensus? Have you ever felt amused by outdated ideas? I answered honestly. That was my mistake. At the end, he smiled, like the others. Your profile shows high internal variance. You're not dangerous, just unaligned. What happens now? Adjustment recommendations will be applied. Expect environmental easing. I went home. My walls were dimmer, my bed slightly harder, the water ran colder. My mirror greeted me more softly. My voice commands had a delay, all of it subtle, gentle, a soft push, repetition as erosion. I opened the test again. This time it was mandatory. We noticed you didn't complete your cognitive stabilization session. Would you like to try again now? Y or N? I didn't click either. The screen pulsed, then the power dimmed. And in the silence, my voice assistant said, "Uncertainty is not a violation, but clarity is preferred." I started dreaming in system prompts, flashes of interfaces, soft icons hovering in blank space. My face reflected back to me in a dozen versions, each one smiling more than I ever had. I woke up exhausted. My door lock took longer to respond. My neighbor stopped making eye contact. My smart glasses began showing alignment reminders. Short affirmations layered over the sky like ads. Peace is participation. Confidence comes from consensus. Drift is distortion. I couldn't tell if they were meant for me, or if I was just now allowed to see them. I tried switching devices, logged in fresh, changed locations. Nothing worked. The system wasn't on a machine. It was on me. One night, I heard a knock. Not a notification, not a drone chirp, a real human knock. A man stood outside, mid-30s, calm eyes, no badge. "You're not alone," he said. He handed me a card, no number, just a phrase. "Still thinking?" I didn't say anything, just nodded. He left. The card had no chip, but when I held it, my lights flickered. Once, like a blink. The next day, I tried to search the phrase, got a system warning. Query contains disoriented language. Proceeding may affect your stability score. I closed the window, then reopened it. The site was buried. Plain black page, white text. "We are not a movement. We are not a rebellion. We are just people who remember what it felt like to think without prompt." It listed no locations, no instructions, just thoughts, questions, open-ended ones. Reading them felt dangerous. The next morning, my thermostat locked at 64 degrees Fahrenheit. My health tracker buzzed with a fatigue warning. My bank app showed pending behavioral review. Then came the voice call. "You've been selected for a full thought clarification interview." I asked if I could decline. The answer was instant. Declining is a form of avoidance. Avoidance signals divergence. Divergence must be clarified. The interview wasn't in a government building. It was in a wellness hub, one of those clean, soft-lit clinics that used to offer digital detox sessions. Now it offered alignment reinforcement. A humanoid greeted me at the door, genderless, featureless, a calm voice that never changed pitch. "Welcome. Please proceed to Cognitive Suite B." Inside, a chair, a screen, and nothing else. The door locked behind me, not loud, just final. The screen turned on. "This is not a punishment. This is a recalibration opportunity." The questions began immediately. Do you believe systems can make mistakes? When did you last feel uncertain about public messaging? Have you considered alternatives to civic consensus? I answered carefully, vague, non-committal. But I knew it didn't matter. The system didn't need my words. It read the micro-tremors in my voice, the dilation in my pupils, the blood oxygen shifts when I hesitated. Halfway through, it paused. Thought deviation confirmed. Latent variance, 17.3%. Rising. I swallowed. What does that mean? It means you have not successfully adapted, but you are not beyond recovery. The lights dimmed. A soft tone played in the room, rhythmic, almost musical. The screen showed images, fields, calm oceans, smiling faces. Words began to overlay the visuals. Belonging is safety. Simplicity is strength. Trust reduces noise. My body relaxed in spite of me. "This is normalization, isn't it?" I said. The voice didn't respond. Just another image. A man smiling, a woman nodding, a child sleeping. Then the prompt, Would you like to begin the healing pathway? There was no option, only begin or delay. I reached for the screen, but stopped. In my pocket, I felt the card. Still thinking? I pressed delay. The lights blinked, the tone stopped, the screen went dark, and the door unlocked. No one escorted me out. The street outside was louder than I remembered, sharper, less filtered. I looked at the card again. No change. Still blank. Still dangerous. That night I packed a bag. I didn't know where I was going, but I knew one thing. The system didn't want obedience. It wanted agreement. I left before sunrise. No route planned, no map, just a direction, away from stable signal, away from indexed zones. As I walked, my devices slowly gave up. The connection dropped. My assistant went quiet. Even the overlays in my lenses stopped rendering. It felt like parts of me were falling asleep, one by one. Outside the city grid, everything changed. Fewer roads, fewer lights, no drones, no prompts. I found a roadside station, long abandoned, half swallowed by moss and rust. A payphone stood near the fence, somehow still upright. I picked up the receiver, static. Then a voice. Still thinking? It wasn't a question. It was confirmation. I didn't speak. Go to mile marker 19, the voice said. Leave your ID. Come alone. I followed, past farmland that didn't hum, past water that didn't taste treated, past people who didn't look up when I passed. At marker 19, a man waited. No badge, just presence. You got further than most, he said. I said no, that's all. He shook his head. No is the most dangerous word now. You said it and meant it. That's why you're here. He handed me a device. Looked like an old pager. This will show you people like us. Blind zones, rooms where thought is still private, places that don't ask. What is this? A resistance? Number just memory. Preserved by those who remember before the prompt. I followed him down a dirt path into a settlement I couldn't see on any map. No towers, no signs, just homes, and silence that didn't press. People looked different here, not afraid, not filtered. They spoke with pauses, looked directly at you, like they weren't waiting for an approved reaction. One woman passed me a small notebook. Paper, blank. To keep your thoughts while they're still yours. That night, I wrote down everything I could still recall. The way my fridge used to speak, the phrasing of system prompts, the look of my own smile when I practiced it in the mirror. The words came slowly, but they came. I fell asleep without music, without noise, without alignment. For the first time in years, my dreams were mine. In the morning, someone was burning old devices. A small fire crackled around stripped wristbands, cracked lenses, flattened assistants. No ceremony, just quiet relief. A man offered me tea, real leaves, not powdered infusion. He didn't ask questions, just sat beside me while we listened to the world as it was. They told me the system wouldn't come here, not because it couldn't, but because it didn't need to. The off-gridders were no longer marketable, no longer measurable, no longer useful. The war wasn't fought with force. It was won through apathy. Compliance was monetized. And deviation? Deviation was simply removed from the equation. Later, I hiked beyond the ridge, stood where the signal used to cut out, watched the city in the distance, clean, synchronized, compliant, a place where thoughts aligned because they had to. Behind me, the scent of soil, wood smoke, paper. In my pocket, the notebook had grown heavier, not from pages, from meaning, my own handwriting, my own phrases, my own contradictions, preserved without correction. That night, around a fire, someone asked, "Do you think they'll ever come for us?" Someone else answered, "Why would they? We have nothing left to give them." I didn't speak, just stared at the flames and thought about the last time I wrote something I wasn't told to write. There was a freedom in being forgotten, but even more in remembering yourself. And so I stayed. Not to fight, but to think.